Hello there, my beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Today we're talking about, is Genji dead? And before anyone drops their answer, like, yes, of course he's dead, Genji. A Blizzard ruined my game. They nerfed my Genji. Please just watch the video, listen to me, and then after that we can have a discussion. As always, we don't have to agree. And I would love to hear your opinion down below, as long as you just don't say yes and then just leaves the video after watching the intro or because you read the title or the thumbnail. I am a competitive coach. I coach really high tier teams, so I do believe that my wording has something to say. On top of that, last season, season 10, which is, where a lot of people complained that, Genji was gonna die, I hit 4,222, so Grandmaster with a 66% win rate on Genji. Essentially, I got to GM because I played Genji, because my Tracer kind of dragged me down. I think that has like 30% win rate because I'm not that good on Tracer. So yeah, I personally believe that he's meta. He's meta in the pros play him a lot, and the meta that we're in now is really good. I made a video where I talk about what actually is season 11 meta, where we can play dive, we can play deathball, we can play Pocahontas with Orisa, we can play almost anything. The meta is really nice right now. So let's talk a little bit about that. If you want to get a coaching session, I'm starting to round up my my kind of offer here. So if you're interested, then you can hit me up on Discord or on Twitter to get a 10 euro discount off, meaning 40 euros for a 2-hour session, which is really fucking cheap. If you want to prove rank up, whatever, hit me up. Both of those are linked down in that description. Now, the problem for a lot of Genji players, and I coach a lot of Genji players, a lot of people, hit me up for private coaching and talk about that kind of stuff, is that they are playing the guy similarly. They go to Reddit. Reddit says that Brigitte counters Genji, then they cry about they encounter Genji, they lock Genji, and they run in and they feed. Okay, so why do they counter you? And that's what people needs to think. And I know that a lot of from the community has the IQ and the game sense to actually do this if they just will sit down and think for themselves instead of listening to someone else. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna try to help you guys do now. Like, open your eyes, right? And that, okay, so Brigitte stuns us if we get close enough. She has a frail, which is irritating because it waxes around if we get close enough. And then she has her range thing, which pushes us away, which she can hit us at a pretty decent range rate, right? That's Brigitte. That's all she does. She armors people, which is irritating because it gives an extra swing in our Dragon Blade. But that's it. She cannot, her mobility is not that high. She can't take high grounds easily. She can't leap after us or rush after us, right? She has that one. Her one mobility ability is the stun that we're scared of. How easy is she to kill? She's quite difficult to kill. How important is it for her to kill her in the beginning? Not really that much. If she gets to stay alive for some time, that's fine, right? So legit, if there's a Brigitte, you just need to keep out of her range. You need to play around her instead of doing what I see so many people do when I private coach them. They go close to the Brigitte, they dash the Brigitte, they dash the Zenyatta that is next to the Brigitte. They blatantly ignore. They just play like they normally would play. They play against a team as if there's not a Brigitte in the main group, and then there is a Brigitte in the main group. That's what a lot of people do. They don't think. They just do stuff. They don't think about the changes that there's a new hero. They don't look at a pushing team as hero composition. They don't treat each match as an individual match. They treat it as like a blur of in general gameplay, right? They don't analyze their situation. They don't look at stuff, right? They just go in without thinking. They burn their cooldowns way too early and then they die, and then they sit, and instead of thinking, why did I die? How can I improve here? They just do it again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. That's the only thing to do. They do the same thing over and over again, and then they just cry on some forum, or they yell at someone, or they call the guy that plays Brigitte for cancer and a piece of shit for picking such a low skill hero. And then there's you could easily dominate the guys. I see some players with incredible aim, really good left click aim, for example, and then they rush into CQB with the Brigitte and just dies. And it's like, why are you doing it? And yeah, I'm not saying that Brigitte is not difficult to play against. It doesn't put a hinder, because the stun that she does is really consistent. She's difficult to kill. It's not on my Kree where we can actually, poke him with left click and like kill him really quick with a switch strike, or where it's very easy for us to time his flashbang of cooldown or something. With Brigitte, because her damage is so consistent, we get hit, we take majority of our HP. So yes, that makes the main group more difficult to attack. A lot of the time you can do a trick that had been done for ages. You can look for when she uses her stun. Normally if she stuns in the front line, then you can just move past her then with the blade, because it will be on cooldown, right? There's so much you can do. if you just want to. And she is irritating and so on, but Genji is not even close to being dead. If people just want to sit down and adapt their playstyle and think about what they want to do, and especially since Brigitte is not played in every single match. She isn't. And a lot of the stuff that I see is picked as her counter, a lot of the time it runs into the problem that one, either the guys are good on the hero that they pick, oh, I'm not playing Genji, I'm playing this instead. Or two, they are picking it specifically for the Brigitte. If they pick Moira and they play Brigitte, then you gotta ask, what do they do? Okay, they have like one healer, which is like, we have one stable healer, which is relying on that juice. She works really well on enemy teams that is stacked. We can drain that if we want to, right? They don't have any saving graces, so my Dragon Blade can be really efficient, right? And while one-tricking Genji is not very optimal for the majority of the player base, you can really easily play him if you just want to sit down, if you think a little bit about it. I know that the majority of you guys can do it. Instead of just complaining for no reason and just say when I ask, why is the Brigitte so why is Genji dead? And they say Brigitte stuns me, and it's like, but why is she allowed to stun you? Why don't you keep your distance? Why don't you poke? Well, because like I need to go and kill stuff, and it's like, why don't you then go for another target or poke someone? Or if she is in the back line, shoot the front line. If she's in the front line, shoot the back line. Why don't you play more on high ground? Why do you play so much on low ground? Why do you waste your dash all the time? Why do you do all these things? Why don't you stay at distance? Why do you run into the open against the Moira so she can easily kill you? There's so many things that can just be done to fix this problem, and I don't want to sound like I'm negatively flaming at anyone or anything like that. I'm just getting frustrated. As a coach, I get very frustrated when people say the reason we're losing is because the meta is bad. I get very, very frustrated because that's like one of the worst mentalities you could ever have in a competitive video games. As always, guys, I would like to hear your opinions down in that comment section down below. I hope that this helps a little bit. I hope that you kind of understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, as always, guys, I love you very much. You guys take care of yourself, stay positive, and as always, guys, keep the enemy in your crosshair.